So the past few hours have been pretty explosive for YouTube. The fallout of the recent changes to the advertiser-friendly content guidelines or monetization rights on videos has resulted in a lot of backlash from the community. And it's well deserved. No matter who you are on YouTube, this is going to affect you in some way. If not directly, it's going to affect the people that you watch, the people you subscribe to, the people that those people subscribe to. It's going to come back to you in some way, shape, or form. So, to preface this, I'm a casual content creator. I just upload a couple videos every now and then of stuff that I think is funny, cool, just play the games from Overwatch, stuff like that. I do very minimal editing, and I upload. I don't monetize on my stuff because I do this as a hobby. I'm not a big Let's Player, but I respect those people. I watch a lot of them. I watch Two Best Friends play all the time. I watch Maximilian every now and then. People like them. The problem of this is that the way that these monetization rights are changing, these people could potentially be out of a job if the enforcement of this continues as is. I'm sure you've noticed that some people have been getting a lot of flags on their videos within the past few hours. Some of them have been able to reverse this because the change has not been a change to the guidelines per se, so much as the enforcement of them. YouTube has been quoted as saying that it's a change to be more transparent and to notify the content creators when monetization rights have been lost on their video so that they can appeal it more directly. But as we've seen, a lot more of these have been popping up. So the question I ask is this an automated system similar to the way that Content ID and fair use works? Because if it is, it seems like YouTube has not really learned their lesson after a lot of fiascos like Team 4Star's channel going down and Where's the Fair Use. That was probably one of the biggest backlashes to their fair use takedowns in a while. Team 4Star's channel going down for, I think, a full day, a couple hours, either way. It went down, and it's due to automated bots that search for copyright and flag videos. Even though Team 4Star has disputed similar claims time and again, and by then they should probably have a manual review before their channel is actually taken down due to the nature of their content. But that didn't happen. It was just taken down. It was brought up within a day, I believe, but the fact it got taken down automatically to begin with sparks the whole problem. And if that's the way that this content is being reviewed for monetization, it's just a whole new can of worms in a different package. So the guidelines, for anyone who is unaware, I'm going to read from the actual page. Content that is considered inappropriate for advertising. So anything that violates these bullets means that it will not be able to have monetization rights on the video. Sexually suggestive content, including partial nudity and sexual humor. This means if you made a dick joke, anything like that. And partial nudity, that makes complete sense. I mean, like some of those cam whores that will just flash your cleavage up on the camera in order to, hey, watch my gaming channel, even though I don't actually game. It's like combating against those Twitch cam girls, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Those people are a cancer on the Twitch community, so being able to fight against similar stuff like that on YouTube, I'm okay with that. But the problem with this bullet point is the sexual humor. This is going to impact a lot of people who might make sexual innuendos or what have you as their comedy routines. Anyone who makes a joke like that can have their monetization rights removed. And this just seems kind of backwards because there's plenty of shows on the air right now on television that make sexual jokes, and they get monetization rights They get commercials, they get cross promotions, all sorts of stuff, merchandise, everything. So to have this enforced on the internet when it's not even enforced like that on television is very backwards to me. And that's definitely something to keep in mind with a lot of these other ones. Next bullet point. Violence, including display of serious injury and events related to violent extremism. This one makes a lot of sense to me. This means that you can't post the Pain Olympics and get money on that. You can't post someone getting beheaded in the Middle East and get monetization on that. That makes complete sense. Videos like that are just gratuitous, like violence, especially of a real nature, should not get monetization rights on them on a site like YouTube. Hey, if that's your thing, go to Live Leak or whatever. So moving along, inappropriate language including harassment, profanity, and vulgar language. This is the second biggest bullet point to me. This is a very big issue. So this means that anything that is considered profane or vulgar, anything that would probably be censored on primetime television on the average network, would not have monetization rights by the logic of this. It's kind of vague. Harassment, I can somewhat understand the logic of that, but at the same time, that's a very subjective thing. People can claim that something is harassing someone when it's more of a critique or criticism. So this is a very dangerous one as well. Next one, promotion of drugs and regulated substances, including selling, use, and abuse of such items. This is one that makes complete sense, and I completely understand why this is on here. You can't advertise that you're selling pot on YouTube and get monetization rights for that. You can't show which medications or prescriptions you could potentially abuse and get a high off of. This makes sense. Now, the last one here. This is the biggest one and is the biggest talking point. Controversial or sensitive subjects and events, including subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedies, even if graphic imagery is not shown. This is the big one. Sensitive subjects and events, that's a very vague thing. This means that anything that someone finds unsettling to them, something that conflicts with their own political agenda, their ideologies, whatever. This means that it could be taken down. So anything that's critiquing social justice movements, anything that's covering like Black Lives Matter movements, stuff like that, this could lose monetization rights. And the rest of it, including subjects related to war, political conflicts. This means that a lot of people that cover general news or drama happening on the internet, they can lose monetization rights. I'm okay with that if just Keemstar or whoever the fuck, like Leafy, lost their monetization rights. I'm okay with that. But this means that people that are actually covering things from a relatively unbiased or informative position could lose their monetization rights. Granted that some outlets like CNN or MSNBC that do upload onto YouTube, we have seen that they still maintain monetization rights. So this seems like a bit of a pick and choose situation by YouTube where they're somewhat playing favorites. And the danger of all of this, what it all comes down to, is that this is going to really damage a lot of content creators. People that rely on YouTube as a primary source of income are going to see a big impact. And if these policies don't get reversed, we're going to see a big shift in what content is produced on YouTube. People are going to be scared to share their opinions. People are going to be afraid to post something that could be construed as vulgar or harassment by the criteria here. And it's very, very scary. It's outright censorship to people. And I'm really not okay with this. Censorship by any definition is something that I'm not really okay with. by principle. Like the changes to the Fire Emblem games, that was something I was very opposed to. Censorship has its place depending. Free speech to an extent is my belief. You can say just about anything as long as you're not saying stuff like, I am going to blow up the White House and murder everyone in the cabinet. You can't just say that and expect to say, oh, that's my free speech to say it. You can't just silence me. That's a terroristic threat. There's limitations to everything. But to do this to an open platform like YouTube is alarming. It shows a very dangerous shift in YouTube and Google's ideologies. And frankly, I've said it before, but it scares me. I'm worried about how people are going to get by if these policies aren't changed. A lot of people who have relied on YouTube as a primary source of income, as I've said, they're going to have to look for something else. They're going to have to try and find other employment. They might have to try and find partnerships with other sites, post to their own websites, and run ads off of the video encoding on there. So some people are off worse than others in this. People that have their own sites like Team 4 Star or Nostalgia Critic or Super Best Friends, they have something to sort of fall back on. But everyone else, the average person who has posted pretty much exclusively to YouTube, is going to have to change the way that they do things if the policies don't change to accommodate. So, what do you think? Post whatever your side of the argument is in the comments. Open discussion like this on a topic like this is very important. The more that it's discussed in more locations, I feel it's more likely that YouTube is going to have to make some sort of response. So post onto Facebook, try and tweet at them your opinions, and let's see if we can't get them to be a bit more clear on this or to reverse their position entirely. Thank you for watching.